Let's cover a topic about selecting things on 3D screen because there is a lot of questions about it on the forum of the Game Maker Studio. And in the past time we have covered it by doing some collisions from the camera position against the 3D space and so on. Let's forget about it because scan hit weapons are quite old and obviously they hit. So during the creation of the object we have some value like hash, and it exists somewhere. It is a number. A number refers to an object. Let's call it ID. So during a process of drawing 3D, which obviously if you ask question about selecting something on the 3D screen, you're already drawing something, we are utilizing some render. And we are grabbing objects to draw. Probably you are drawing everything, so you are grabbing all the objects and you are passing them in the form that is familiar to you as submit to Word, vertex submit. This is something you probably recognize, so matrix set, vertex submit, vertex buffer, triangle list, texture, position, rotation, and so on. I don't use rotation, I have solved this other way, so my objects are not rotated, but you clearly see them rotated. So to select something on the screen, you need some information, and most of those information, because you see things on the screen, are done by shader. So let's say we are grabbing some information, we cover it later on, but we're grabbing some information to automatize what should be passed to a shader. So information obviously we are sending, it is our vertex buffer. We have this somewhere grabbed, but submitting to the Word. Vertex buffer, triangle list, and texture, and some values like position and so on. I'm rotating things by shader, as you see, and by some transformation matrix I'm passing. So let's say this is one of the object. It is order of drawing things, and I have automatized it to send information to shader. So this is exact same submission you are using, but we can submit for every object some more information. Like if you want to turn on some shader values like cartoon, but here we are focused on hash, which I covered just previously, showing the object. Object have hash number. Let's call any object like camera. It has a hash number. So every object have a passport. It has a number. And part number. Part number is just 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is the array of parts. Some texture, if we put more texture like normal and materials like my own settings. So we go to the shader and we're gonna focus on the hash and maybe a part number. So here we have a shader. It is calculating something as usual. This is my rotation, so I do rotation in shader instead of passing values because of reasons. And obviously to draw anything you are utilizing a position. So position is obvious, it must be an XYZ if you're drawing in 3D, some more letters if you're drawing something more complicated, and position give us an object position which is in position X, here Y and Z, obvious. W 10 is just top right corner of the matrix, which is telling us if we are in real numbers. Let's say so, negative or positive, in front or past the camera or the word or whatever. It is just math. So we have object position, and usually to draw anything, so GL position, what is the position to draw? You are multiplying matrix world by view by projection. But if you are asking where the thing is in the 3D, you are multiplying this just by world. Usually you do this for normals if you are doing normals. So we are using just matrix world times object space position xyz, and we need to save this value and pass it as varying to our pixel shader. So we have world position, and we are not about to do anything to that. Later on, as uniform, we have passed somewhere hash. Chosen hash is just to round lines around the object, so it is outline. In case I select something and the hash is matched, so yeah, this is this object. Choose it, draw something on it. But this is the one we are interested in, and maybe part number. It is addition to this. So we have calculated our position, and we have calculated our, not calculated, we have passed hash, and we are not about to do anything to our hash. So we are drawing as usual, and at the end we are drawing colors. So this is what you see, and these are four outputs. These are surfaces. As you see, we are passing world position as it is, and here we are passing object hash. Also we are passing distance to camera and part number, but we encoding as color object's ID. This is what we are interested in. So our pixel on one of the surfaces we are outputting contains information about this pixel belong to a given object. And if we click and get pixel color extended and check the surface, we get information back. This color. First I show how it works in gameplay, and then we are going back to code how to work with that. So how we go for more targets of the rendering. So not one surface of the color you see, but also those surfaces you don't see. So we go to the gameplay. So we are about to selecting things on the screen. So I have a function many which contains information returned by check pixel with mouse click. We have some surfaces. Let's see those surfaces, graphic control. So we have surface of colors that we are displaying to the player. Obviously we have some normals. This is another surface as render target. Something else, probably some values, or I don't remember what we are seeing now, and some other like distance to camera or hash or something. Those are numerical, purely numerical surfaces, not color surfaces. So they are interpreted in different way. We go back to code soon to see how to prepare it, but this is what you see. We have surface output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in case of GameMaker Studio 2, 4 is max. Otherwise we need to draw scene twice or 3 times to do something else. So we are going back to normal surface display, where I am, graphic control. Okay, and we have this checking pixel with mouse click. So we're clicking somewhere and it's showing us what is the X, Y, Z position of the pixel we have just clicked, what contain color. This is encoded color. This is encoded color as normal. So instead of using red, green, blue, I pack it, and this is color number. I later on unpack it through post-process. Normal pixel, it is just surface, I'm drawing nothing at all for now. Oh, it is why it was black. And float pixel surface, so RGBA float numbers 32 bits. So here we have distance from camera, so if I click here, distance from camera is 1300 and 900 and so on. If we go somewhere near, as we see, this is distance from camera, and obviously shader need those information. How far from camera is something, just to occlude one object with another. It is in general depth buffer, so we are accessing depth buffer in some way. This one is hash of the object, so if we click here, we see this guy flying in the air have different number than the terrain, and this guy have different number than this guy and then the terrain. If we go to the object editor and we are choosing this guy, his hash number is this, and because we are just clicked him, this is his hash number. It is how I'm choosing objects, selecting them on the screen. And this is the hash number, this is his hash number. And now we have terrain. So let's turn off this noisy overlay. It is also created by shader. So this is how we get those number back. Number, his ID, is passed to the shader and is encoded as color. And it is how I can retrieve those information. So here we have color, and number 40 is the part of the shield, part leg, part lower leg, part foot 25, and so on. Same way this guy, ass number 1, scabbard number 30, helmet number 7, and so on. So we can choose any part of this guy, and it contains a number which is encoded in our drawing, so in the shader. How to utilize it later on, I show in the code. So we are going back to the code.